Hello everybody, welcome to Let's Get Learned. Today I'm going to be talking about Happiness is a Serious Problem by Dennis Prager. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I read through it, took some notes, and I took notes on each chapter. I'm going to present each chapter to you with its basic components. I hope you enjoy. Chapter 1. Happiness is a Moral Obligation. We are morally obligated to be happy to our community and to everyone around us. This doesn't mean acting fake, but it means to work on your own happiness yourself. People don't like unhappy people. People also behave decently when happy. Unhappy religious people have a poor take on their faith and stance with life. Religious people must be happy for their religion. Chapter 2. Unhappiness is easy. Happiness takes work. The easy way is the wrong way. Anyone can be unhappy because it takes no effort. Happiness is a battle to be waged, not a feeling to be awaited. Happiness is a byproduct through wisdom and hard work. Wisdom means developing attitudes that enables us not to despair. Chapter 3. The mind plays the center role. Before you act on pursuing happiness, you have to ask if pursuing the objective will make you happy in the first place. You must use your mind to be happy. What do most people lack? Number 1. The awareness that what will make you happy demands on a great deal of thought. Number 2. The self-discipline to pursue happiness, inducing actions rather than pleasure-seeking actions. Number 3. The wisdom to consistently answer the question, will this make me happier or unhappier? Chapter 4. There is no good definition of happiness. There is no good definition of happiness. There is no good measure of happiness either. We define happiness as, I cannot define it, but I know it when I see it. You should be reducing unhappiness just as much as you are trying to achieve happiness. Chapter 5. Life is tragic. Suffering is real. Suffering leads to both positive and negative results. Evil is also real. If there is evil and suffering in the world, and you don't feel it, you should feel happy because it is not happening to you. As long as nothing terrible is happening, we should be happy. Life is bittersweet, even when it is going great. But that doesn't mean you should not be happy. Suffering and evil is just a part of the human condition. Chapter 6. Human nature is insatiable. No human is completely satisfied with anything. Natural desires cannot be supplied to us in sufficient quantities to satisfy us completely. Love, sex, money, attention, pleasure, food, and security. Human nature is the greatest single obstacle to happiness. Our rational and philosophical abilities determine if we are happy, not our primal instincts. We should not allow our dissatisfaction to make us unhappy. Dissatisfaction is necessary because it allows us to strive to do better. When you realize you cannot find satisfaction with the unimportant, the satisfaction becomes unnecessary. Chapter 7. Comparing ourselves with others. People compare themselves to other people who they think are happier to them, when in most cases they are not. People also compare themselves to other people who make more than them, but this is stupid because those people are also unhappy with how much money they make. The only happy people I know are the people who I don't know well. Compound unhappiness is unhappiness over being unhappy. You will be happier with others if you didn't fake being happy. Chapter 8. Images. We all have images of how our life should be, but none of our lives are living up to our images. Because images are perfect and life is not, you can measure your unhappiness by subtracting your image from reality. Unhappiness equals image minus reality, or U equals I minus R. Unhappiness can be reduced by dropping your image and celebrating your reality, or keeping your image and changing your reality. Changing society to fill your image is evil. Image can make or break you. They are like fire and needed to be handled accordingly. Chapter 9: The Missing Tile Syndrome. One way humans sabotage happiness is looking at something perfect and picking out imperfections. Being critical to detail is crucial in the physical world, but in the emotional world it is catastrophic and self-destructive. If you focus on your imperfections and they make you unhappy, you are irrational to be unhappy because everyone has imperfections. No human possesses all good traits. If you expect women or men to fit all good traits, you are a fool. It is self-destructive to find the perfect man or woman with good traits. How to fix the missing tile syndrome? It is necessary to acknowledge how powerful the missing tile syndrome is on your life. Identify what the missing tile is. Determine how essential this missing tile is from your happiness. See if you are missing a tile or suffering from missing tile syndrome. Once you figure it is a missing tile or the syndrome, get it, forget it, or replace it with a different tile. If you do one of these things, 3 things, you will stay. If you don't do one of these 3 things, you will stay unhappy. Chapter 10: Equating Happiness with Success. 2 ways equating happiness to success is a mistake. Success is relative and not fulfilling desire for happiness. Once you succeed, you just want to succeed more. If you talk to successful people, you will find that they are happy before they were successful. If you equate success with happiness, you will actually be unhappier. Ask yourself, why do I want success? It will help you why you pursue it. Some people pursue success because they have an inner demon, and some pursue success because it's like a drug. Work can bring you happiness if it brings you joy and is meaningful. If all you care about is money, your work isn't going to be joyful. If you won the lottery, would you continue to do your job? If yes, it will bring you happiness. Money can buy you things to make you happier, like medical care or a house, but if you want to make money to be rich, then you will never be happy. Men think that they could be happy with money because they think it will attract women. Beautiful to look at will not increase your happiness. Chapter 11: Equating Happiness with Fun. Equating fun to happiness is an obstacle to getting happy. People think fun equals happiness. It is not true. Fun is temporary, happiness is ongoing. Where fun is during, happiness is during and after. If you don't care about who you have sex with, you will not be happy after. Amusements don't create happiness. They only in ignoring our problems. Happiness then ends with amusement ends. Eating fast food only makes you unhappier. Who is happier? People who eat delicious food or people who have to figure they want? The holidays don't bring you fun. People become addicted to fun. You should use fun responsibly to balance out stress in life to bring happiness. Use fun like spice and not like dessert. A fun life is as unfulfilling as a dessert-only meals. We should try to make the most important things we do as fun as possible, and that will make you happy. Every now and then, you can treat yourself to some dessert fun, but use fun spice to be life-enhancing. Chapter 12, Fear and Avoidance of Pain. Pain does not lead to unhappiness. Everything that leads to happiness involves pain. Marriage, children, intellectually challenging pursuits, religious commitment are all painful, but they lead to the deepest happiness. Married men are happier and live longer. A life-filled life is a pain-filled life. Chapter 13, Expectations. Desires can be good or bad depending on what they are. When we take what we have for granted or feel entitled, we then expect things. Those expectations will lead to unhappiness. We shouldn't expect anything. All happy people are grateful. All ungrateful people are unhappy. The more expectations you have, the less gratitude you will have. You can expect things that are absolutely certain, like the sun rising. We don't have full control over most things in life, and we should expect that. We can control how we act and how we behave. For children, we should have hopes, demands, and goals, but we shouldn't expect anything from them. We shouldn't take our spouses for granted. Children should expect unconditional love from their parents. We should have goals, hopes, and ambitions for ourselves. We have the right to make appropriate demands from others, but we shouldn't expect anything from them. No expectations equals less disappointments, but equals more optimism. Chapter 14, Family. There is little in life that can bring you as much happiness as your family. Parents have the most difficult job in the world, that is raising kids. Parents are your first lovers who help make your happiness possible and can be the first to introduce you to happiness. Children absorb love like plants absorb sunlight. Other adults can help parents by spreading love to their kids so they can get proper amounts of love. If you are an adult and didn't receive enough love from your parents, you have to accept your parents won't change. You can compensate from not having loving parents by loving your child. You can also bask in love from your friend, spouse, wife, and husband. Raising children will make you happier. Also, a child will prevent challenges from the couple, and it will bring you closer to your spouse. Although having a child in a troubled marriage will only make it worse, a newborn baby is a miserable day for the firstborn. Most siblings are not very close to each compared to how close friends can be. Parents need to intervene with fights between siblings for the siblings' sake so they can have a good relationship. Chapter 15, The World Has Too Much Pain. We forget other people in the world go through pain the same way we do. We can also feel unhappy with other people's pain. You can choose not to allow human suffering to have an impact on your personal suffering. To do good, you have to be happy. People who are unhappy are too preoccupied with their unhappiness to do good for others. Allow the feeling of the world's suffering to increase your gratitude. Chapter 16, Seeking Unconditional Love. People love animals more than people because animals give unconditional love. Adults don't need unconditional love. They need love from peers. Unconditional love stunts growth in adults. If we are loved no matter how we act, why should we act in a way that earns us love? Seeking unconditional love will make you unhappy as an adult. God loves us the same. God's love is conditional but forgiving. Chapter 17, Seeing Yourself as a Victim. You cannot be happy if you are a victim. People who see themselves as victims don't see themselves in control of their lives. A victim sees life as unfair, and people who are victims are angry people, and so reaching happiness for them is impossible. People who see themselves as victims cannot enjoy life because enjoying life could challenge the perception of them being victims. If you see yourself as a victim, if you see yourself a victim of your parents, you have to choose when you will no longer see yourself as a victim of your parents. If you see yourself as a victim that was persecuted in the past, then you will no longer be happy. If you see yourself as a victim of perceived slight, you are choosing to be a victim. If you see yourself as a victim of your own behavior, stop blaming others. You will not be happy until you address that problem. It is easier to blame others than it is to confront life and oneself. Victims like getting sympathy, so it is tempting, but it will make you happy. If you stop being a victim and take responsibility for your own happiness, you will become happy. Self-pity is a byproduct of victimhood and is addicting. It takes maturity to not see yourself as a victim. Chapter 18, The Opposite Sex. Even with the challenges relationships can bring, you can still be happy in them. Marriages are great because it teaches you how to get along with someone who is not like yourself. Although differences can be great, we see each other in opposite spheres. Both sexes strive for material possessions, which is an obstacle for happiness. Male nature is driven to be completely sexual with as many partners, but this behavior is insatiable and will lead to unhappiness. Female nature is driven for emotional intimacy with a variety of people, but her drive for emotional intimacy is rarely satisfied. We should accept these differences in nature because, after all, men want women and women want women. Men want women to be women, and women want men to be men. If we acknowledge that our nature will never be satisfied, we should be liberated by the knowledge and be happy. Understand that we will never reach satisfaction, but we can help ourselves understand our nature. Chapter 19, Genes or Biochemistry. People are born with different personality traits. Some are prone to happiness and some are prone to unhappiness. Taking drugs to make you happy will only give you artificial happiness. You should be able to solve your own happiness without drugs. For your own sake of healing. If you want to change your mood, you should try to change your diet. If you blame someone else for your depression, you are only going to make it worse. If you have a family member that is unhappy, you are not responsible for making them happy. Chapter 20, Meaning and Purpose. Happiness can be obtained if you believe life has meaning and purpose. The human need for meaning is our greatest drive. Relationships provide meaning because you have to provide and care for friends and family. Your work can be meaningful, but if you work for money, your work will have no meaning. A cause can give you great meaning. We also need to see existence as meaningful to be happy. Ask yourself if what you are doing is meaningful. Chapter 21, Happiness is a Byproduct. Happiness is only achievable if it is a byproduct of something else. Pursuing your passion will bring you happiness. The passion must have intrusive value and meaning. No TV allowed. The passion must lead to growth and knowledge. Being deeper will also make you a happier person. We become deeper when we grow in all aspects of life, emotionally, morally, psychologically, intellectually, and in wisdom. Struggling is a part of death. Listening to classical music can bring you depth. Wisdom and understanding could bring happiness. Clarity as in understanding yourself in life can bring you happiness. If you do good, you can be happy. Pursuing the transcendent will also make you happy. Chapter 22, Develop Perspectives, Cultivate a Philosophy of Life. People have a flat tire quota. People expect and determine they will be unhappy. We determine how unhappy something will make us. People also think events will make them unhappy, but that is not true. There is little correlation between the circumstances of people's lives and how happy they are. Without being able to place events into perspectives, we will come to the mercy of those events. We need a philosophy of life, just like how a captain needs a compass. Develop a philosophy of life to fit your tragedy. Also adopt the philosophy of this too shall pass. If you say these times will pass during difficult times, it will be easier to cope and you will be healthier and stronger. If you go through trauma and it doesn't kill you, it will make you stronger. To live is to suffer. God allows unjust suffering. Knowing life is full of suffering, you are blessed. Believing a life after death increases happiness. Chapter 23. Find the positive. Find the positive in all situations, in or negative situations. Gain wisdom and growth from negative situations. If you value growth, you will value every situation. Chapter 24. Accept tension. Tension is painful, so people avoid it, but avoiding it decreases their chance of happiness. Tension is necessary for all growth. Life without tension is a shallow life. If you have a tension-filled life, it means you are facing competing demands, a characteristic of a full and happy life. Have you ever accomplished anything without tension? Maturity and happiness demand tension. Stress and aggression is unhealthy tension. Stress kills and aggression provides pain. If you are growing, it is tension. If you are not growing, it is aggression. Chapter 25. Everything has a price. Know what it is. There are no free lunches. People make peace with the fact everything in life has a price. Determine what the price is for everything you desire. Choose whether to pay the price or forgo what you desire. Unless you do these things, you will be unhappy with the price you pay. Being married and being single have both advantages and disadvantages, so you have to pick what advantage and or disadvantage is suit you. Same goes for having kids. This can be said for every aspect of your life, including your job. Chapter 26. Accept the lowest parts of your nature. Acknowledge there is nothing wrong with having undesirable characteristics. You can learn why you have them and how to control them. To have dark tendencies is to be human. People who have passions are more interesting. None of us do all good things without them annoying us. Instead of being guilty of your negative thoughts, be proud you are not acting on them. Don't act on your feelings, just tell somebody about them. Chapter 27. Allow innocuous expression of your lower parts. Negative feelings should not impede our happy life. Evil behavior and unholy behavior are not the same. The key to happiness is finding a balance between our divine and our primitive nature. Evil thoughts destroy happiness. Evil behavior increases immediate pleasure, but it does not increase happiness. Use vices in moderation, or you will become addicted to them and be unhappy. Chapter 28. Seek to do good. People think good people suffer and evil people prosper, but that is not true. Doing evil brings immediate benefits, but doing good brings inner peace. You cannot be a good person without gratitude, and you cannot be happy without gratitude. Chapter 29. Develop self-control. Controlling your nature is the greatest step towards happiness. Self-control is hard, so not many people want it. Saying no to yourself leads to happiness. If you want financial success, you need self-control. If you want to be physically fit, you need self-control. Addicts do what they want, but they are the least free people on earth. Freedom is being able to do what brings you happiness, and that takes self-control. To increase self-control, make it a habit and never lose sight of your goal. Chapter 30. Find and make friends. Loneliness is a disease infecting America. Humans need companions to survive. Family are our first deep companions. Marriage is our most profound companionship. Friends can fill a companionship void for marriage or family. Plus, we can choose them. Finding a close friend is important to a happy life. Making friends should be a priority. Go out and seek friends the same way you seek a spouse. Know your friend's value. Choose your friends by character and values. It's important to have friends with the same values as you to be happy. Friends tend to act like a mirror to our own lives. Have deep conversations with friends to see how they are. Pay attention to how they treat others. If it is important to make close friends with someone the same sex as you to increase happiness. To keep friends, you need to forgive them of their flaws. Don't burden friends with guilt. Couples need couples to be friends with, and single people need single people to be friends with. Chapter 31 Psychotherapy and Religion. We all go through pain in life, so go see a therapist. Many therapists are not very good, so watch out. A therapist only removes the obstacles so you can be happy. It doesn't necessarily make you happy. If you want happiness, find meaning. Religion can't make us completely happy either. People may use religion to master psychological problems, but this is bad. When we use religion as a shield against ourselves, it is a false use of religion. That can only distort it. Religion is still necessary for happiness. It provides understanding of values, provides a helpful community, it teaches gratefulness, and bonds family. Religion and psychotherapy need each other. Chapter 32. Just kidding, there is no chapter 32. There's only 31 chapters. Well, anyway, thank you for watching the video. I would appreciate it if you subscribe and or like and comment. I hope you have a great rest of your day, however it's going, and I wish you the best. Ciao.